And we are back, and my word, what a difference a weekend can make. Graham Potter, gone. Brendan Rodgers, gone. And on the pitch, should Rodri have been gone? Should Harry Kane have been gone? Loads and loads of drama from the weekend's action, and a whole host of massive decisions and massive implications for the rest of the Premier League season, on and off the pitch. But somehow this game week still is not over, as we have 6 fixtures for you, with 4 tonight and 4 tomorrow. And I'll be honest, it's probably best just to get straight into it. But before we do, as always, a reminder for you to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Let's get into all of the action for the remainder of game week 29. And we start with tonight's action. And I'll be honest, as a whole, all of these 6 fixtures on your screen right now, I genuinely think all 3 possibilities are available for all 6. So I think if I get a 6 out of 6 in terms of predictions, this will be a hell of an achievement. But like I say, we'll start with tonight. We'll start with the first game, which is Bournemouth and Brighton. And off the back of Brighton's failure to win at home to Brentford, that does throw some doubt over my prediction for this game, because I've backed Brighton an awful lot this season, rightfully so. They've done incredibly well, but Bournemouth are absolutely scrapping for their lives. They've much improved over the last few weeks, but I just don't think they're quite there yet. They obviously beat Liverpool at home, but I'm just not fully convinced they've quite got enough to get a result against Brighton. So I'm very cautiously going to go for 2-1 to Brighton. But like I say, I think Bournemouth could get something from this game. I'm just not quite comfortable enough to give it to them yet. Second game tonight sees Leeds taking on Nottingham Forest. And we have, again, a team that cannot score away from home against a team that seemingly cannot get a win at all at the moment. So makes it a very tough one to call. I have to stick with form when it comes to away performances, and that Nottingham Forest simply do not score goals away from home, and Leeds at home do tend to score the odd goal. Therefore, I'm just going to go for a 1-0 win to Leeds United, which I think will see them end up tonight outside the relegation zone if the other results go their way. Speaking of the relegation zone, we have Leicester taking on Aston Villa as Adam Sadler takes his first game in charge. For how long? Potentially the rest of the season, who knows? But Leicester currently occupy one of those relegation places, and they're taking on an Aston Villa side who are absolutely full of form right now, especially off the back of that 2-0 win away against Chelsea. And even with the new manager pomp and all this, that and the other, I just don't think Leicester at the moment are a team capable, A, of beating Aston Villa, but more specifically keeping them out, because defensively Leicester are all over the place at the moment, and the way that Villa played against Chelsea, they could easily destroy Leicester this evening, and I'm going to go for a 3-1 win to Aston Villa. But like I say, with a little bit of caution, because there is that still new manager pomp, and Leicester still are a good team on paper. They could very easily turn up and get the win tonight if they put it all together. Finally, for tonight, we have the main event of the evening. It is Chelsea against Liverpool, a game that normally is a massive fixture in the Premier League, but based on current league position, it's purely a mid-table clash, where it's a big game on name of team alone, and we have the team that simply cannot score against the team that simply can't defend. So anything could happen in this one tonight. Obviously, Chelsea are going to have their new man Bruno in charge for the evening, and Jurgen Klopp will be looking for a response after another dismal display against Manchester City. And it's so hard to call. There's so many factors available in this one. I'm just going to go for a 2-2 draw. I think it's going to be an interesting game. I think it's going to be a fun game to watch. You have to think Chelsea can score against Liverpool the way they've been defending recently, but you also think Liverpool have the quality to beat Chelsea the other way, so I can't split them. I'm going for 2-2. On to tomorrow night's action, where you find my club, Manchester United, once again looking for a response after a dreadful display, and we come up against a Brentford side that are flying at the moment, like we say. Unlucky not to get the win against Brighton, but a 3-3 draw away at Brighton the way they've been playing recently is a hell of a result for them. Not only are United trying to bounce back from the Newcastle defeat, they've also got to show a response from the 4-0 defeat to Brentford earlier in the season. So I'd be lying if I said I wasn't extremely concerned about this one like I was against Newcastle. I went for a draw at St James's and obviously Newcastle battered us to pieces. I am very worryingly and slightly biasedly going to edge it in Manchester United's favour out of pure expectation over an actual prediction, and I'll go for 2-1, but believe me, it will not surprise me one bit to see Brentford get something from this game. Finally, it is West Ham taking on Newcastle, the team that battered United at the weekend. Can Newcastle produce that sort of performance without the St James's crowd behind them, especially given the fact that West Ham played relatively well at the weekend, granted against a very poor Southampton? I think, again, this is a very, very tough one to call, but I have to look at what I saw from the West Ham-Southampton game and say that Southampton had a fair few chances. Newcastle obviously could have beaten Manchester United by a hell of a lot more, so if West Ham are going to allow Newcastle enough chances like they did Southampton with the quality of player Newcastle have, you would still expect them to get a couple of goals and potentially another clean sheet for Newcastle considering how well they are defensively. West Ham are starting to play better, but I don't think they're quite there in a position to beat Newcastle just yet. So with all of those things considered, I am going to go for a 1-0 win to Newcastle United to round off Game Week 29. And that is going to be it for today. As always, let me know down in the comments your thoughts about all the drama that kicked off over this weekend, both on and off the pitch, as well as letting me know your predictions for the final games of this game week. Thank you very much for watching. I will be back tomorrow evening for my Manchester United Brentford reaction.